Everything's fantastic. Yes, it's but the pressure of trying to be happy. Happiness never lasts. Sadness is always right behind it. I can't stop it. I'm faking it most of the time. There's so much I should be doing. I'm failing at. I could be a better man. I feel like I failed. That's what's going on inside my head. Those are my inside voices. Both happy and sad.
Oh, God. Oh, man, I got a lot of stuff that I need to work through right now. And
it looks like sad is winning. It just feels like a competition, and I wonder sometimes who's going to win. Time flies, and once it's gone, there's no turning back. I don't mind getting old as long as I'm healthy. I'll exercise, eat right, seek out contentment, do whatever it takes to make it to 100. I guess I have no choice but to lay my faith in the statement that it's not the destination, but the journey.
There are many ways of describing happiness, but only those who are happy know what it means to be happy. There is nobody who has not been happy. Everybody's been happy. But the problem is they're not able to maintain it, that's all.
Literally, what I'd like to know is, what does happy mean and what does sad mean? Neither of which was meant to be permanent. Happy was if you were lucky, if you had some sort of chance of finding it. Being sad was being unlucky and weary, and that you've seen some stuff. I find that I'm looking for some sort of shortcut, and I'm looking for some way to solve the problem by throwing money at it. I can get on a plane and travel the world, and no matter how far I go, I'm still here. All my happy memories are simple moments. I look around me and I see what everybody else is doing, and I'm thinking, maybe if I do that, I'll be happy.
We'd rather do as other people do. And this is important when it comes to creating well-being in ourselves. Your brain is not always on your side when it comes to creating happiness.
The brain is very good at learning from bad experiences, but bad at learning from good ones. We're the most profoundly social species on the planet. As we evolved in the Serengeti, exile was a death sentence. And if we don't get the supplies that we need, bit by bit, it's kind of like we're living on a thin soup. There's a hollowness and emptiness inside.
It's an undeniable truth that we're all craving to share a common experience, to have this exchange with one another, and to create memories together. It's our way of finding our place in the world. Because if we don't, it could affect our mental and physical health. Really makes you think about social media, doesn't it? But for whatever the reason, we all have our own set of issues, and we're suffering from something.
We all face problems. We end up in crisis sometimes, and we struggle.
I was lying on the floor of my shower crying. I felt like I couldn't breathe, that this was a pivotal moment in my life. That this sadness that I had to feel was necessary for me to make some changes, just as it is necessary for you to feel it so you can too. According to EC Psychology and Psychiatry, sadness is a basic and natural emotion, one that actually is for interactional and adaptive purposes.
The whole conception of nature is as a self-regulating, self-governing, indeed democratic organism. It all goes together. The idea of the friendly enemy, the necessary adversary, who is part of you. You have conflicts going on in your own body. So all those interrelationships, whether they appear to be friendly relationships or conflicting relationships, they are actually forms of cooperation. And that is mutual arising. What's the use? And that, you see, is because we have insufficient trust in ourselves.
So that would mean that our own psyche was designed that way, forcing us to have to deal with our unhappiness and sadness, which turns it into a failsafe, something we can't ignore, and that our own personal and emotional growth was born out of conflict. So I'm not going to accept that whoever created us was into practical jokes and setting us up to fail. I believe that all of this has some sort of purpose. One of the benefits with age is that you realize that how you feel about something now may be very different how you feel about it later. So maybe we shouldn't take it so seriously.
I am not going to live to be 115. So I am growing old. I am past middle age. So what? I have found that getting older, like every other stage in my life, brings with it gifts. things I hadn't expected that are just fantastic. I am much more able to be myself.
You have nothing, he said. You have only a high school education. You're penniless. He said the only thing you have going for you is that you're beautiful. I didn't think that was too bad.
To become a centennial, it's going to take some optimism. I guess we're not really given a choice in that we have to embrace the good with the bad because they do come together. And a thick skin probably is helpful to get through life as well. Maybe I'm asking the wrong questions, and that my dilemma has nothing to do with being happy or sad, because the end goal is to find contentment, and that only comes when I've gone through some things and come to terms with it. Join me on Make It to 100, where we share all the links of all the videos that you've just seen and other information that I think you may find interesting. Subscribe to us, where we have more videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Share your information. We would love to hear from you, because as far as we're concerned, as long as I'm learning, I'm living, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.